story recapped here. Today I'm gonna explain a horror, sci-fi, and thriller film called The Island of Dr. Moreau. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. After being adrift in the ocean for days, Andrew notices they're approaching an island, so he rows to shore. He helps his companion, Charlie, off the boat. Due to Charlie's weak state, Andrew helps him lean on a nearby tree. Afterward, Andrew leaves to find drinkable water. While he's alone, an unseen figure drags Charlie away. Meanwhile, Andrew notices a figure in the distance, so he runs away until he's caught in a pit trap. On the nearby compound, Montgomery notices Andrew's predicament. When Andrew wakes up, Montgomery orders a humanoid servant, Maling, to notify Dr. Moreau. Andrew asks about Charlie, so Montgomery tells him that they buried him after he died of thirst and exposure. Montgomery asks how long they've been adrift, so Andrew shows him the carvings in his belt, revealing that they were lost at sea for 17 days and nights. Andrew was an engineering officer on their ship, but it sank after getting caught in a storm. Andrew asks where they are, so Montgomery says they're in paradise in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Moreau arrives and introduces himself as a compound's owner. Inspecting Andrew's condition, Moreau states that it's amazing how the flesh reasserts itself. After Andrew asks about transportation, Moreau says there hasn't been a ship in some time, so they'll keep Andrew amused while he's there. When Andrew asks how long Moreau's been here, Moreau says 11 years. Later, Andrew gets up upon hearing the wails of an unknown creature, but his attention turns to Maria downstairs. However, Montgomery warns that she belongs to Moreau. Curious, Andrew asks what kind of animals are on the island, so Montgomery chuckles as he answers, all kinds. After introducing Maria, Moreau tells Andrew that he brought her to the island after finding her in a crib in Panama City at the age of 11. As they head for dinner, Moreau warns Andrew never to leave the compound after dark. At dinner, Andrew shares the developments of machinery such as submarines and the near invention of planes. However, Moreau asks about the development of man, pointing out that one-celled organisms are more complex than machines. When Montgomery says he hasn't seen any developments in mankind, Moreau thinks he just wasn't looking in the best places. Before leaving, Moreau shares that Montgomery is an ex-mercenary, but Montgomery says he still is. As Maria heads back to her room, Andrew follows her and asks whether the servants are local to the island, but Maria says nobody was there before Moreau. Andrew asks for further information, but since Maria doesn't know much, he realizes that she has never left the island. Maria claims there's no boat for her, and when a boat does arrive, Moreau doesn't let her see them. Still, Maria states that she wouldn't live anywhere else but there. After Maria bids him goodnight, Andrew hears loud groaning coming from a shed, so he rushes downstairs. However, the groaning stops abruptly, so Andrew heads to the library instead. He searches the books until one catches his eye. He flips through the pages when Moreau appears, stating facts about himself, assuming that it's what Andrew was looking for. Moreau notes that he's a doctor of chemistry, physiology, and anatomy, and showed brilliant promise in his studies on cellular structure and growth. However, despite his contributions, he was criticized for being speculative and insufficiently documented. Moreau lists the books he's written, which tackle the connection of humans to the universe, along with eugenics. When Andrew shows interest in his work, Moreau presents him his collection of human and animal embryos, mentioning how everything looks the same yet takes different forms as they grow. He wonders how that happens and whether the resulting form could be changed, but Andrew asks whether they should. This seems to disappoint Moreau, so he bids Andrew goodnight. The next day, Andrew inspects his boat on the beach, noting a hole on its side. Maria then arrives with her pet cheetah. The two greet each other, but when Andrew tries to hold the cheetah, it runs off, so they chase it in the woods. While the two split up in their search, Andrew stumbles upon Maling at a small creek, drinking water while on all fours. When he spots Andrew watching him, Maling runs away. Soon, Andrew finds Maria with her pet already in her arms. That night, Andrew goes to Montgomery to ask where Moreau is, but Montgomery forces him to drink with him instead. Thus, Andrew asks Montgomery about Maling's peculiar behavior, but the mercenary asserts that it's a local custom. Andrew isn't convinced, so Montgomery insists on letting Moreau explain everything. Andrew notices that Montgomery doesn't like the island, so he asks why he stays. Montgomery simply answers that he sleeps better there. The following day, Andrew notices Montgomery and Moreau pulling a chained Maling. Despite Maling's protests, Montgomery takes him away. Andrew asks what's wrong with Maling, but Moreau answers that he doesn't know because his work doesn't always provide answers. Andrew accuses Moreau of harming the servant, but Moreau explains that Maling is a special type of human, and he's helping him. Later, Andrew goes to the beach and pushes his boat to shore, hoping to get out of the strange island. Unknown to him, someone watches his attempt. After failing to get the boat across the waves, he heads back into the jungle but stops when he spots movement behind the trees. Frightened, Andrew hurries away as strange creatures chase him until he encounters Montgomery and Moreau. Freaking out, Andrew recounts the creatures chasing him. Moreau tells him to return to the compound, ignoring Andrew's question of what the creatures were. At the compound, Andrew goes inside the shed and sees various wild animals in cages. Further inside is Moreau's laboratory. Andrew approaches the covered table in the middle and inspects what's underneath. There, he discovers a beast-like human who growls at him. Moreau and Montgomery return, so Andrew asks what they're doing. Montgomery comments that Andrew will get over it just like he did. After Moreau makes Montgomery leave, Andrew asks about the creature. Moreau notes that it's a bear, but Andrew isn't convinced. Seeing the creature in pain, Andrew interrogates Moreau on what he did to the poor creature. Moreau calmly confesses that he thought of letting Andrew adrift into the ocean again when he came to the island. However, Moreau saw that Andrew had a scientific mind. Therefore, he wants to share what he's working on with him. Moreau explains that he almost has proof of the cell particle that controls living organisms. He then injects the creature with a serum, which he claims has the biological code to erase the animal's instincts. Moreau believes that this will allow them to turn the creature into anything else they want, including a human being. The creature starts thrashing before it loses consciousness. Andrew asks why he's doing this, so Moreau explains that it's to control heredity and fix human deformities. Later, Maria finds Andrew in her room. The two begin indulging their desires as Moreau looks at Maria's window from downstairs. The next day, Andrew finds more servants, so he confronts Moreau. The doctor confirms that they're animals he turned and points to another one inside a cage. Moreau frees the hybrid and walks it to a bear's cage. After a few moments, the bear starts licking the hybrid's arm. Angered, Moreau whips the hybrid, prompting Andrew to stop him. The doctor is frustrated that his hybrid is still an animal, so he tells Andrew to get Montgomery. Montgomery rushes into the shed, allowing Andrew to take a rifle from his cabin and sneak out of the compound. Through the woods, Andrew follows grunting sounds which lead him to a cave. Inside, hybrids slowly emerge from the darkness and surround the frightened man. One hybrid known as Sayer of the Law steps up, speaking to Andrew in perfect English. He points out that Andrew is a man like them, so he must learn the laws which state that they can't walk on all fours, can't eat flesh, and can't shed blood. However, one rabid hybrid attacks Andrew until Moreau fires a warning shot. The doctor declares that the hybrid broke the law by attacking Andrew, thus he will be sent to the House of Pain. Afterward, he tells the hybrids that if they disobey Andrew, he will punish them. Back at the compound, Andrew criticizes how Moreau handles the hybrids, saying there should be some consideration for them. However, Moreau points out that science is cruel, but it gives them good results. Andrew contends that the creatures are no longer animals to be subjected to experiments, which Moreau agrees. He clarifies that the creatures have inherited human virtues, including hate and rage. Therefore, they must fear them to keep them in line. Andrew rejects such cruelty, so Moreau reveals that the next ship will arrive in 2 years, leaving Andrew no choice but to stay and become one of them. Moreau laments that despite his attempts to make his hybrids human, they always revert to their animalistic senses and become dangerous. He stresses that if the hybrids spill even a drop of blood, they will overpower them. As Montgomery prepares to return the punished hybrid to the cave, Moreau points to Andrew that the hybrid looks more human after being rid of his bestial rages. When the hybrid is returned, the Sayer of the Law also notices that he looks more human. A bull hybrid argues that it's better to be an animal because they're strong and proud, insisting that Moreau's law shouldn't be their law. After the bull hybrid runs away, the Sayer of the Law explains that it's their law because they're men, though the others aren't as convinced. At the beach, Andrew repairs the boat and tells Maria that it's almost done as they plan to leave together. However, Maria is afraid to live anywhere else because the island is the only place she knows. Meanwhile, the bull hybrid encounters a wild tiger and fights it. As the scuffle goes on, the hybrids leave the cave to check what's going on. Hearing this, Maria and Andrew run back to the compound, only to encounter Montgomery and Moreau, who tells Andrew to come with them. When Moreau hands him a gun, Andrew declines. Soon, they reach the area of the battle, but the tiger is already dead, and the bull hybrid is gone. Moreau hands Andrew the gun again, and this time, he takes it. They head to the cave where Moreau demands which hybrid broke the law by shedding blood. Slowly, the hybrids turn to the bull hybrid. When the bull hybrid runs away, the rest of the hybrids and men chase him down. As they continue the pursuit, one hybrid tells Andrew to follow him, so he dismounts from the horse. The hybrid brings Andrew to the bull hybrid, who's hiding in the woods. He pleads with Andrew to kill him because he doesn't want to be in the House of Pain. Pitying the creature, Andrew reluctantly shoots him in the head. Hearing the gunshot, everyone arrives at his location. However, the other hybrid refers to Andrew as his is the hand. That night, the hybrids burn their fallen comrade's body on a pyre in the sea. The hybrids then gather at the compound, growling with torches in their hands, pointing pointing at Andrew. Montgomery claims that they don't like him. When Moreau approaches him at the gate, he just stares at them, which makes them walk away. Later, Moreau takes a syringe from his lab, while Andrew and Maria start packing their belongings in a rush. When they're about to leave, Moreau suddenly injects Andrew, knocking him out. Maria begs him not to let Andrew suffer, but Moreau can't promise so. Back at the lab, Andrew is strapped to the table as Moreau asks for his forgiveness for what he's about to do. The doctors still can't figure out why the hybrids revert to their animalistic instinct, blaming their inability to communicate properly with him as a hurdle in his progress. Therefore, Moreau injects Andrew with a serum, instructing him to explain how his cells react and how it feels within his body and brain. Andrew loses consciousness upon the injection. The next day, Andrew wakes up to find that his body is already changing into an animal. He screams in horror, so Moreau injects him again, knocking him out. When Montgomery checks the lab, he's shocked to see what Moreau has done. He demands Moreau release Andrew, but the doctor reminds him that if one is to study nature, one must be as remorseful as nature. Seeing what Moreau is willing to do, Montgomery holds him at gunpoint and demands Andrew's freedom. Moreau relents and tells Montgomery to fetch the keys to Andrew's chain from his room. However, as soon as Montgomery turns away, he shoots him and drags his body into a cage. Later, Maling sneaks inside the shed to take Montgomery's body and leave it at the gate. Then, a male hybrid takes it. At the lab, Andrew screams in pain. Thus, Moreau declares that his mind is becoming animalistic, but Andrew insists he still thinks like a human. When Moreau insists that Andrew is becoming an animal, Andrew yells that Moreau is the animal. Meanwhile, Montgomery's body is taken to the cave, where the sayer of the law declares that Moreau broke the law by killing him. The next day, Moreau brings live rats for Andrew to eat like an animal, but Andrew refuses. Moreau argues that he must follow his instincts, so Andrew attempts to take the rats but stops. To remain human, Andrew reminds himself of his old life and narrates how his brother died in great detail. The memory makes Andrew weep. This angers Moreau, so he demands Andrew let go of his humanity. Suddenly, he hears wailing in the distance, so he checks it out. When he returns to take his whip, he notices that Montgomery's body is missing. Still, he heads out to deal with the other hybrids. With Moreau gone, Maria runs to Andrew. Andrew instructs her to get the key, though he struggles with his words at first. However, Moreau has the key. As Maria looks at him with pity, Andrew begs for help. Meanwhile, Moreau leaves the compound to calm the rioting hybrids. He demands Montgomery's body back, but the sayer of the law accuses him of breaking his law. Thus, he must be punished. Moreau tries to force them back to the cave, but he is outnumbered and pushed off his horse. Despite whipping them, the hybrids continue pursuing Moreau as he runs away. Meanwhile, Maria releases Andrew and takes a gun for good measure. Soon enough, the hybrids catch Moreau and take his whip away as they surround him. Desperately, Moreau reminds them that he's their creator, but the hybrids pounce on him all at once. The hybrids bite and claw at him until he's no longer moving. The sayer of the law is stunned as they've broken the law by killing, but the rest demand no more laws. The sayer of the law argues that there must be laws because they're not animals, but he ultimately follows the whim of the crowd and carries Moreau to his lab. However, Andrew stops them, claiming that he's one of them. Still, the hybrids call him a master, so Andrew fires a warning shot, making everyone run away. Andrew looks over Moreau's dying body. With his last breath, Moreau reminds Andrew that he's an animal, so Andrew screams in anger. Later, Andrew announces to the hybrids that Moreau is still alive and should be feared and obeyed. This angers the hybrids, so they break through the gate. Andrew then motions for Maling to raise Moreau's body, suspended by a rope. Seeing Moreau's eyes open, the hybrids freeze, allowing Maria, Andrew, and Maling to hide. After realizing that Moreau is actually dead, the hybrids break down the gate and wreak havoc, causing a fire at the lab. Some hybrids let the caged animals loose despite the sayer of the law's warnings that the animals aren't like them. The hybrids fight with the animals and are killed one by one. The three run away once the coast is clear, but a lion tackles Maling into the pit. Unable to save him, Maria and Andrew continue their escape and push the boat into the sea, but a hybrid catches up as they embark. He pulls Andrew into the water, so Maria takes the oar to smack him away. Though Andrew gets on the boat, the hybrid continues trying to maul him. Once more, Maria fends him off with the oar as she helps Andrew back up. When the hybrid resurfaces, Andrew hits him over the head, breaking the oar. When the hybrid is gone, the couple relaxes. However, he returns, so Andrew impales him with a broken oar. While they row to freedom, the compound burns down as Moreau's body hangs at the gate. Adrift in the sea, Andrew wakes up back to his human form and hears a ship in the distance. He starts shouting for help as Maria looks on with tears in her now feline eyes.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.